Hey guys, today is the 15th. Our topic is still going to be slope, and my page number is 25. Our learning target will be I will be able to identify the slope, y-intercept, and the linear equation. And our essential question is what are the different ways to show slope? So slope we know from yesterday that is represented with an M, and we know it as rise over run, right? But there's a different way to write it. We can also write it like this: a triangle with a y over a triangle with an x. And that triangle means the change of. So in reality, we're saying the change in y over the change in x. Okay. So for the slope formula for today, we're actually going to look at the slope formula, which will be m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. And the slope-intercept form is going to be this: y equals mx plus b. Okay, so these are the main things that we're going to talk about today, and let's go ahead and get started. So we know slope is going to be m, right? So if we look at this slope-intercept form, we have y equals mx plus b. This right here is going to be the slope, right? That's the part of the equation that represents slope. And remember, we know slope, m is equal to the rise over run. And again, another way that we can say it is the change in y over the change in x. Okay. So let's say we were going to find the slope of this line. Okay, let's say we have a point at -6, -8. So right here. And a point at 2 and -4. So 2 and -4 right here. Okay. We would find the rise, right? Let me go ahead and move this a little bit up. To find the slope, we will find the rise. So let's go ahead and find the rise from here. We'll go up 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We went up 4. And then the run would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So together we can say that our slope was 4 over 8, or we can simplify it to 1/2. Okay, and so that would be the slope of that line. So let's look at the slope of a formula. So the slope of a formula is represented with an m equals y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1. These numbers right here, 2, 1, 2, 1, those are subscripts, and they are only there for label purposes only. Okay, so we're not going to use the actual 1, 2, 1, 2. They're just there to show us which one is the first one, which one is the second one. Okay. Let's go ahead and use that formula to find the slope of a line. So sometimes the triangles aren't going to help us a lot because maybe it might be in the middle of it won't be an exact number. Okay, so let's say we have the point -5, -4, -5, -4, so right here, and the point 0, 4. Okay, and that zombie is going up to the mountain, and we want to know how steep he's going. So what we're trying to find the slope of that mountain that zombie is running up, right? So let's go ahead and we're first going to write our numbers. Remember, this was -5, -4, and we got that because this is -5. We go down, and -4, they meet up. Okay, so we got -5 and -4. And our second point is 0, 4, because it's at 0 and 4. Okay. We're going to list out our ordered pairs. These are our ordered pairs. Okay. And we're going to label them x, y, x, y. So I know this is an x, this is a y. I know this is an x, and this is a y. Right. And this ordered pair is the very first one. So I'm going to label them x sub 1 and y sub 1. So x1 and y1. This next ordered pair, that's the second one. So I'm going to name them x2 and y2, or x sub 2 and y sub 2. Okay? And that's going to help me know where I'm going to put them in my equation. So I have slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. And let's go ahead and input our numbers. So first we have a y2. So our y2 is going to be this right here, this 4, right? So let's go ahead and put 4. This is equal to 4 minus our y1 is this number right here. So minus a negative 4. Our x2 is going to be this blue 0. So we put our fraction, we have 0, minus an x1 is going to be this negative 5. So put a negative 5. Okay. When we do the math, we know we can do the top, which is 4 minus a negative 4. Remember, if there's a negative or minus a negative, we can go ahead and add those two together. So at the very top, we would have an 8 over, let's do the bottom. Okay, we have minus a negative, so we can go ahead and add those. We got 0 plus 5, and we would have a 5 at the bottom. So our slope is going to be 8 over 5. So since our slope is 8 over 5, let me go ahead and write that down. It's 8 over 5. Let's go ahead and put that into our equation. Y equals mx plus b. In this equation, we're only going to change two letters. We're going to change the m and the b. Okay, this m we know is slope. And the b is going to be the y-intercept. Okay, those are the only letters that we're going to change. So if we go ahead and write it out, we have y equals, our slope we found was 8 over 5. So 8 over 5 x plus our y-intercept. And what is y-intercept? Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Let's look at our graph. This line, the vertical line that goes up and down from negative 10 to 10, that is the y-axis. Okay, and then the one that goes horizontally like this, that's the x-axis. Right, so if we look at the y-intercept, that's where it's crossing the y-axis. And we can see right here, it crosses at 4. So our y-intercept is going to be a 4. And so the equation for this line is going to be this right here. Okay, pretty cool. We can, later on, we will learn how to put this in a calculator to graph it in the calculator. Okay. Let's say we have another zombie, and that zombie is going to go up a mountain, going to get some brains or whatever, and we want to know how steep he's going. Okay, so our very first point is going to be 0, 3. So 0 and then up 3. And let me do red. And then the other one is going to be 2 and 7. So let's count 7 around here. Okay. So let's go ahead and write our ordered pairs. The first ordered pair is going to be 0, 3. And our second ordered pair is going to be 2, 7. It doesn't really matter which one you put in first. As long as you put them with the correct name, you should be okay. So once I label them, I'm going to label this x1, y1, because it's the first one. And then 2, 7 is going to be x2, y2. If you decided to do 2, 7 first, that could be your x1, y1. It doesn't really matter, right? So let's go ahead and write our equation. We have our slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, and let's go ahead and put in our numbers. Okay, so y2 is going to be 7. So let's put 7 minus our y1 is a 3. So let's put 7 minus 3 over x2 is a 2, right? So 2, let's write in 2, minus our x1 is a 0. So we have a 0 right there, right? So let's go ahead and calculate that. So at the top we have 7 minus 3. We know 7 minus 3 is going to equal 4, right? And then 2 minus 1 or 2 minus 0 is going to be a 2. We can also simplify that. So 4 divided by 2 is a 2. Right? So our slope is going to be 2 or 2 over 1, right? If we wanted to check our work, we could do this is our rise, right? Rise over run. And if we went from this point, if we rose 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I know I rose 4 and I ran 2. So it'll be rise over run, 2 over 4, which is 2. Okay. Right, so let's go ahead and put it as our equation. So we know slope was equal to 2. What is our y-intercept? I must spell intercept. What is our y-intercept? So where does it cross the y-axis? Remember, this is the y-axis right here. And it crosses right here at 3. So our y-intercept is going to be 3. Okay. So let's write out our equation. Y equals mx plus b. Remember, the only ones we're allowed to change are the m and the b. Our m is our slope, right? That's our m, and this is our b. So we have y is equal to 2x plus 3. And that is the equation for this line or this mountain that the zombie is climbing. Okay. Let's do one more. And let's say that this zombie was going downhill. So he got up the mountain and he didn't find any brains. And so now he's looking down in a village and he sees all these people. And so he's running down. Let's see how steep he's going down. Okay. So let's see the slope. So we'll find 2 points. It can be any 2 points. I liked let's see. I like this point right here and this point right here. Right? They're really nice. They're like at the perfect crossing. And let's go ahead and write them down. We got -3 and -2 for the first one, right? -3, -2, because it's right here at -3, and then -2. And then the second one will be 0, -6. 0, -6. Okay. So let's go ahead and label our numbers. Oh, that's a y. And let's write our equation. So we've got y equals, or not y equals, slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? And so our y2 is -6, so we'll write that first. -6 minus a y1, that's also a negative, but it's going to be -2, over x2, what is x2? 0, minus our x1, which is that -3. So let's put minus a -3. Okay. So when we do our calculations, you can either do it in your head or put it in the calculator. Let's see what the calculator says. So if we put -6 minus a -2, we should get a -4. Okay. Another way to do it, we have a minus a negative, so I know we can add -6 plus 2, and we get -4. Okay. Here again, we can do plus. You can put in the calculator 0 minus a -3 or 0 plus 3. That will give us a 3. Okay. And we cannot simplify it, so that is our slope. Okay. -4 over 3. And that makes sense because it has a negative, and this right here is a negative slope. Okay. So you can have a negative number for a slope as long as it makes sense. As long as it's saying that it goes down from left to right, then you're doing okay. Okay, so our slope is -4 over 3. Let's go ahead and write it as our equation. Slope is equal to -4 over 3. Our y-intercept, let's see what it is. So our y-axis is going to be here, right? And it crosses right here at -6, at -6. Okay, so let's write our slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. We are only allowed to change m and b, right? So we have y is equal to our slope, which is -4 over 3, x plus a -6, okay? But I know that plus a negative we can just write as -6. So let's go ahead and simplify it a little bit more. So y equals -4 over 3, x minus 6. And that is our equation for this line, or the downhill that the zombie is going. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know. I know this is a very different, and it can be difficult of a topic. So please come to our Teams meetings if you have questions. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you guys later, okay?